So why don't we start with you guys just giving us a little introduction, just who you are, how long you've been in the space, a little bit about the project, and what kind of inspired it. For those that may not
Um,
know.
okay, I'll start with myself. My online name is AI Hate. You can call me John, like in my dog's way, but I prefer just Hate. My background is in the real life. I've been a long time in the military. After I became an airline pilot, I've been in crypto since the OG days when I was a kid, and I didn't have enough money to actually make money. But later on, I had money to make money, so I entered really hard into trading, made my own mining company, and I started NFTs actually not long ago, but since I've been trading for 3 years, NFTs is quite easy compared to algo and liquidity trading. So that's basically my background. I have a mix of business and a lot of different jobs that I just did because I love them. And right now let's say I have many hats in Mutant Cats, a mix between COO, CEO, operations. I dabble in all the aspects of the Mutant Cats DAO. And we're basically appointed by the community. So we were elected, we call it senior cats. And that's basically our structure right now that we're evolving into like this decentralized organization that is ruled by the community and not by anyone else. So we're trying to form our own core team. So any questions about that, I'm happy to answer.
Cool, thanks for that, guys. Yakuza, Music Man, who wants to go?
Wait, Jeff doesn't hear me?
Yeah, there's some
Yeah,
people saying audio problems, but I mean, I can hear you fine. I don't know.
Give me a
yes,
second. You hear me well?
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, then that's fine.
Typical
So
user
far,
error things.
yeah. If you want, I can go ahead. Basically, I'm Yakuza. My real life name is Agustin. Kind of difficult. So far, I'm the head node of the Mutant Cat Discord, and yeah, basically, what I'm trying to do in this transition time, as Harhead said, is help on make things happen. I try to help all these senior cat, all these busy group as much as I can. So yeah, basically we can move forward.
Music Man,
Okay.
you're up, boss.
Hey guys, my name is Ed, Mutant Cats DAO. So the DAO actually hired me to run the marketing group. So that's I'm doing that with a couple other guys as the senior cats for marketing. In real life, I actually manage an actual marketing agency. So that is what I do in my day job as well. And just trying to figure out how to apply the skills that I'm learning in the real world and apply them to the NFT space, which has been quite the journey, let me tell you. But luckily, I get to work with some great guys like Yakuza and Hate, who have been really helping kind of bring this to fruition. Basically, taking a centralized project and slowly moving it through the grueling path of decentralization and all the speed bumps along the way. So happy to answer any questions you guys might have.
So I mean, we could start with just a simple one, just for me personally. How things gone since post mint? I think you guys mint was about what 2 months ago, if I'm not mistaken. How do you feel like things have gone? What were some trials and tribulations, and what were the highlights for you guys?
Okay. Let me answer that. Sorry, I was answering questions like I gotta stop working. It's fucking hard sometimes.
That's all right. I
Let's
get
see.
you, man.
The thing about the minting is like we reached 2.5 ETH in like this. Like we were like one of the first DAOs that like actually put a token that was worth something. So it got a lot of traction. And, like we can call it like the world game of DAOs. It went like really really high, and then of course it went down. As the project lost traction, the community started to just form this structure around it and be able to push it up. Um, our project right now is getting the pace up right again. Future, I think, is pretty amazing. We're forming a lot of really amazing partnerships. We're like getting this leadership that we needed before, well, that we didn't have before, and you this honestly DAOs are a big experiment right now. We cannot do perfect decisions, but what I found, like talking with other DAOs and other decentralized programs, is that usually action is more important than being perfectionist, and you need to keep track of the momentum and just keep building and have a proper idle let's say like a journey that you want to achieve and have it clear and work in really small time frames. Like the NFT space is really fast paced. Everything goes and goes away in a really in a flash. It like goes away, it comes, it goes away. So right now we're in this phase that we're like finally, if you know about how a business is created, you have phase one. We will call it like a successful mint, a second phase, a third phase, and a fourth phase. That is what we're right now, is building up this strong structure that we can become a proper business. Right now, for example, some people ask if we are like um, we are incorporated. We're not. We currently have to incorporate in somewhere, and it's not going to be easy. We have lawyers invested in that right now, and we are like choosing where we can incorporate and how to do it. So our phase right now is basically on a startup way to see it. It's like we're building the foundation of a multi-million-dollar DAO. Like this thing that started as a normal NFT project is just, we want to be an investor whale that will just reap up and like will into project that we think that is going to be amazing, and not only NFTs, but we can dabble in DeFi, crypto. We can put like 100 Ethereum and just YOLO. That's the path that the DAO is going to decide, and we just want to make that happen and just keep growing and make a successful project for everyone that is in Mutant Cats.
Right on. So, one of the other that actually ties in perfect. So before I keep asking my questions, because this is not about a conversation with Chinter, this is an AMA. That actually leads perfectly into the question from the voice of Neo Tokyo News 5. Did your DAO have legal entities established, or is it just a DAO without any of that? Pretty sure you just kind of went over that.
Yep.
How do you feel the process has really gone with that so far? And have you looked into? I know you said you have lawyers looking into it. Henry actually might be able to have a conversation with you because we're working on a DAO for legal entities and DAOs and whatnot for our community as well. So there may be a conversation there that you guys could have.
You know,
Anything
it's an
actually.
interesting ride on that one, right? Because you have a lot of different players involved. You know, you have your centralized core dev team that launched a project. They made a lot of their money up front. They funded the DAO and kind of pushed us off with our training wheels to get going, but are still more or less in charge of the project, right? So they have their own specific legal concerns that they're looking into to make sure that they're covered. SEC regulations, is this a security? To what extent do they need to decentralize to kind of make sure that they're not you know, in any kind of legal exposure, right? Then the DAO itself, now as its own entity that is funded with essentially $10 million in assets, both NFTs and Ethereum, now has to think of itself as its own legal entity, and how are we going to structure ourselves in relation to what the devs are already doing, right? So it's now kind of created these two unique legal entities that need to kind of fend for themselves, even though it's all the same project, right? So it's creating quite a unique situation that you know, we really need expertise to navigate. It's not something that's ever been done before, or if it's been done in such small scale that there's no precedence. So you know, in my real life work, I work for a lot of lawyers. You know, I have at least a dozen lawyers, you know, in my client roster, of which I've asked about half a dozen of them about this stuff, and they all just look at me with glazed eyes. Like the type of lawyer that it takes to be able to figure this stuff out is a highly specialized kind of legal practice at the moment, and it's definitely going to be tricky to navigate. It's not going to be easy, and at the same time, it's kind of exciting, right? Because we're at the forefront of all of it, for better or for worse. Just to give you guys a little bit of context on kind of what we're dealing with and how it's going.
Yeah, being at the forefront's definitely tricky, man. Trailblazing is never. I don't think anybody's ever blazed a trail on something like that and gone, "Wow, that was actually pretty simple."
Exactly.
Yeah, awesome. That also segues quite nicely into Voice's next question, which is with the NFT DAO, what kind of legal loopholes have you guys had to jump through so far?
Oh, I can answer to that. Like for now, you know that, for example, you cannot use marketing as like you cannot use marketing as to like your marketing cannot say that your coin or token is for passive income or is going to give you rewards. That's the first thing to not get flagged in OpenSeas. Other things, for example, right now we don't have terms of service. I think without terms of service, you can forget to get into Coinbase NFT. You also gonna need to be incorporated, and that's the problem right now. That incorporating a DAO with this trustless agreement and all the moving parts is gonna be hard. But it's already been done. Like for example, if you see examples like Sandbox, they're incorporated in Cayman Islands, and we're probably looking at those places to incorporate. We don't want to stay in the US, for example. That's gonna be really risky. Although Wyoming has some kind of structure for DAOs, but I think the US is not a good place for the future. But there's many possibilities in that way. So right now, legal issues you're gonna have how you market your token and how it delivers to the community. If you're good with the marketing, that should not be an issue. If you like market it and you educate your community and not talking about it in like the economic part of it and like one, like the thing about one fish is one fish, one gold is one gold utility, So your token is utility. You have to introduce that utility to not be you're not gonna be the US is not gonna like pursue you. You're too small. Like we're too small to be, but they're gonna go against OpenSea, they're gonna go against Coinbase, they're gonna go against the people that hold us, and without them we don't have any business. So the big boys are gonna pressure us to have all of this regulated. If not, we might even get kicked off OpenSea. We might be ostracized. We might not get verification. For example, right now we have more than 50K volume in Mutant Cats and we're not verified. Why? We don't have docs people. This is important. I bet projects without a docs person right now are never going to get verified in OpenSea or Coinbase. You're gonna have your team to be docs and be a public figure and actually give your ID to the owners of the of like the platform or exchange that you're using. Like things are changing really fast. So that's basically the legal issues. Everything is doable. I don't think it just requires effort and trailblazing like this new space.
Yeah, if there's a will, there's a way. That is for sure. And things are definitely getting more convoluted with the whole passing of the infrastructure bill and 6050I and what the implications of that are for the future of crypto itself, not even just DAOs. So things will get interesting. That is for sure. But again, trailblazing. You know what I mean? That's what happens when you're early to something. So so one of the more lighter questions and something that a bunch of us are interested in because a bunch of us made it in, and we want to know what motivated you to buy a Neo Tokyo identity? Are you bullish? Clearly you're bullish because we saw what you guys picked up and tell us
Yeah,
about
man.
it, man.
It's a nice
Perfect.
identity, right?
Yeah,
Female
yeah, man. That
runs
that
like
was a hot one.
shit. I think she's like 100 or something. So she's pretty.
92, 90 something.
Fun
She's a
fact,
really strong
actually
character.
the vault that you guys picked up was from one of our community members.
I
Oh,
talked
nice.
with him.
That's right.
I talked with him, literally.
Oh
I
yeah,
know. I'm
he
like, no,
told
no,
me to
no.
mention it for some reason. So
I talked with the guy that I bought the land for. Imagine, I think. Yeah, the land. I think the land. He told me we changed his life, so I'm really happy.
oh,
That
that's
makes
awesome.
me extremely happy, man. Like we changed a man's life. That's so bullish, man. Like that's why we are
Yeah.
here for. Web 2 is I'm gonna make it. Web 3 is we're gonna make it. Walk me. So
You
that's the
better
point.
believe it.
Yeah.
Better
Love
believe
it,
it.
dude. Love it.
So about Neo Tokyo, I have a meeting today. We're entering the Citadel tonight. So yeah.
Yeah. So just to
Nice.
give you guys a little context about how the Mutant Cat DAO process works, I mean, it's currently right now being restructured slightly, but for the most part, what we're doing is we're in our Discord, communicating, talking. We have DAO channels, we have brainstorming channels. People are throwing ideas out there all day, every day. We're distilling those ideas down to the ones that we think are the most valuable, and we actually have a tokenomics and treasury team that look into projects, and we kind of like have curated a list of projects that we want to be buying from and buying off of. Out of those projects, then we kind of figure out what the community is being hyped on at any given moment. And then we, someone like Hate will go in, he'll do the research, he'll write a proposal, we'll get it up for snapshot vote, the community votes on it. If it passes, then we go into buy purchase mode. We're purchasing with multi-sigs, so obviously that has its own hurdles. I mean, to give you guys an example, just getting all the parts to Neo Tokyo was a huge challenge because we weren't able to buy them all at once. Yeah. And then so getting all the different multi-sigs to be in the right spot at the right time with their hardware wallets to hit the button on these purchases was a huge hurdle. I mean, we actually lost some of them that we were looking at originally, and ended up having to pay more just to get the timing down. So it's a challenge. It's really a challenge to be working kind of in this with all these different moving parts. But at the end of the day, the community voted and they wanted Neo Tokyo, so we were dead set on making it happen no matter what.
Now, go ahead, Henry. Sorry.
How many people do you have on your multi-signature wallet? Just kind of curious.
Hate right now, I think currently we have 6, right? 5, 6?
No, we are like.
No, we have 7 right now. We have 7 right now.
Increase to 9.
We're adding 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we saw this problem and we need more active people in multisig, so we're adding 2 more people.
That makes sense.
And adding a bit, I did answer your questions about Neo Tokyo. Like, I actually wrote that proposal with another citizen that is actually involved in our DAO. He's working in our treasury group, and he is also an elite citizen on Neo Tokyo. Or if he's not elite, he's like really, really close. Like we don't know. I didn't ask him. But basically, we joined together and we created this proposal for the DAO. We made the research. I'm hella bullish on Neo Tokyo. I think it's the best thing we bought so far, like by far. We're excited to enter the citadel tonight. What else? Really excited about the baseball game. Really excited about joining the community, game with them. So a part of that, I think Neo Tokyo is like if you want to be in the head start of gaming in crypto, where else are you gonna be? Like there's no other place to be. And I think if you want to put Mutant Cats at a head start, now is the time, and not when those identities are worth 1,000 ETH.
That's a good.
Couldn't agree more.
Yep, same here. All right. Next question sort of ties in. It's Voice of Neo Tokyo 5's asking it, and it sort of ties into my own question. So has your DAO looked into being able to do IDO coins? And my question is, are you guys focused specifically on NFTs, or are you looking at coins and other areas of crypto at the same time?
We're looking at all the areas of crypto. We're even thinking about creating bonds. So the ideas are there. The moment we have a proper structure, when we make the full decentralization of the project, we're going to invest in other things than NFTs. We don't plan to be a whale that just invests in NFTs. We want to just go to the best opportunities and really go hard on it with big money.
That makes sense.
So here's the reality, right, guys? We only have so much money in our DAO right now. We have whatever, like 800 ETH in our treasury. We can't be minting a new project every week to try to keep stuffing our coffers. We also can't expect that our trading volume is going to remain high because of the number of cats listed. I mean, we haven't had more than 350 cats listed on OpenSea in weeks. Like our listing volume is very low, and our floor is basically controlled by paper hands. So, at any given moment, we're like 20 sales away from like a massive floor jump, right? Because there's just not that many on the market, which means there's just not that many being moved, which keeps our royalties
only going to get lower now that now that you are having an identity, that's only going to get lower in volume.
Yeah, so it's it's forcing us to try to figure out other ways to create income for the DAO. So we need to start looking into maybe some coins we can be investing to, some DeFi stuff that we can be putting some of our ETH into, because otherwise, at some point, our funds are going to dry up and we're not going to have purchasing power, and that's really what makes this DAO special.
Yep.
Now, out of curiosity, was the project launched initially with the DAO idea in mind, or was the DAO kind of an afterthought?
I believe the original developers did have a DAO in mind, because even from the early stages, the word DAO was being used in a lot of the early marketing stuff. So, I mean, they would have to speak to that specifically since they're the ones who started the project. But
Right.
I mean, I wasn't in on day one, but I was in on day 3 or 4. And at that point, I was already hearing the word DAO being thrown around. It wasn't being actively utilized, but I mean, snapshot voting started happening very early in the project.
So, sorry. So far, because I was there, from day one, and at the start, it was like a collection, but they always had the DAO in mind. And at the end of the day, it was more like, it's something that needs to happen because all the devs are, they are anon, but at the end of the day, they live all in UAs, or at least it's as far as we know. And yeah, they need to decentralize the project. They cannot. They want to cover themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's what a lot of this is about with decentralization is,
Exactly.
protecting yourself, staying anonymous, and being left alone with your own money, financially free. Just my take.
Yep.
Seconded. Okay, so I think we got that. Then the next question is from Cerberus. It ties into going beyond NFTs a little bit more. What are your guys' thoughts on furthering the DAO purchases beyond crypto into IRL purchasing, like real estate, or implementing a business that can feed the DAO, such as a bar or some other form of income stream?
I'm already looking at clubs in Bali.
I mean,
Clubs in
honestly,
Bali,
guys,
he said.
this
awesome.
is an amazing idea, guys. Like, I think this is the future. You see a lot of other NFT, like big NFT projects looking into stuff like this, like CyberCons. It's going to be the future. It's just a matter of figuring out the legalities, right? In order to do something like that, we'll have to have some kind of legal entity that can make those purchases and be held on title. So that's just going to be its own roadmap to navigate, so to speak. But I mean, I'm super bullish in that concept myself, and something that I'm going to be heavily looking into for the future.
I mean, theoretically, you have, hundreds and if not thousands of potential investors that can look into going into something. The legality is obviously going to be sticky along the way, but again, it just cycles right back to that concept of trailblazing like we were talking about. But I highly see this as the future of the way that multi-partner investing is going to be done.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, idea right now is like for spring of 2022, if everything goes all right and we already incorporated everything. At least I would like to make a huge meeting. The DAO will pay everyone what is like the living cost, like the staying. We will rent a villa or a huge complex to have everyone assist. Everyone will have to get his own flight, but everything will be covered by the DAO in the place. And basically do like this huge meeting, and we will also be able to do business, like a proper business meeting, present ourselves, see each other, and just do a proper networking trip. That will also, of course, we will have a blast and maybe get a yacht, and have fun in paradise.
Your own version of Shark Tank with a yacht. I love it.
Weren't we talking about something along those lines?
Yeah,
of course.
whale tank.
Whale tank. I mean, it's the dream, right? It's really the dream to literally be financially free, be your own boss, do what you want, how you want to do it. And I mean, crypto is the future of that.
If you're not doing that in this space, you're in the wrong place. Like,
Couldn't agree more.
This place is for dreams and following that and just do it, man. The moment.
Can you throw a Mutant Cats Discord invite? Yeah, I got you. Hold on. Give me 1 second. We'll get that for you.
yeah, everyone who hasn't joined it, we always, as usual, encourage you to head on over there, check out the server, get involved if you can. Maybe get yourself a mutant cat, get into the process yourselves, and post AMA if there's any questions you want to ask. I'm sure the guys wouldn't mind you reaching out to them and chatting about stuff.
So here's an interesting question. Lifted 567. How do you determine how much to allocate towards a project to invest in? It sounds like this is more up the alley of like coins because the prices, when it comes to NFTs, more or less predetermined. So, have you guys done any serious coin investing so far with your DAO? And if so, how much do you determine to allocate?
We haven't done any yet. Like we have done a deep research. One of like our senior cat from Treasury is being someone really involved. I don't know if you know Dash, but he was a co-founder of Dash, and he's currently our Treasury senior cat. And right now we also have accountants, really people that are like experts in the space, and I put them in the Treasury group. So the numbers are gonna be crunched from experts, from professionals, and that's how we're gonna crunch numbers about how much we're gonna invest and how much risk can we take. Other than that, right now is that like we haven't been able. Like I think we're not gonna touch DeFi till we're incorporated. Like there's no way.
Yeah, just to be safe. That makes sense.
Yep,
Yeah.
definitely. All right. Then one of the more long-term questions from Alan Niels. What are your long-term vision and goals? Like 2-3 years, maybe 5 years ahead?
That's impossible. Right now we're in this is crypto. That's crypto.
Good
When you
answer.
talk about 2 months, it's 2 years here. I just want to have 2 months ahead. My targets are for this month, and my targets are maximum for February. Have everything ready to have like this big party and in a paradise with all of us and join together. So right now, our goals are settled for having maybe a 3 months plan is what we have right now. We have a schedule and goals to take for this month, and we will be adding to it for January and February and starting quarter one of 2022 probably.
I think that's probably a
Yeah,
safe bet, especially with the way things are evolving.
There's
when,
no
when we
way
get
you
to the
can have
point where we can plan out 2 or 3 years ahead of time, that's when we know we made it.
Yeah, that's for sure. No one knows what's happening next week in this space, let alone next year. So
Exactly.
we work 22 hours a day. Like right now, crypto doesn't sleep. So literally 1 week is 1 month in real life.
there's no
In real life,
downtime.
people work 6 hours a day and they go home, and that's it. In crypto never sleeps.
Yeah, we know that. We feel you.
I don't think Zal's legitimately slept for 3 months.
A little bit here and there. Very minimal, though. Definitely very minimal.
Had
He
2
takes
hours in
naps.
3 months. It'd be fine.
He takes naps in the chair.
Yeah, I do sleep within like 5 feet of my desk. I will admit
Yep.
that much.
Same. That's what it is. Too much fun to leave the fucking computer.
Exactly, dude. I love the space too much. I love the people involved with it too much. I can't be away from it for too long. I get FOMO if I leave the house.
Too much.
That is the
This
problem too. It is too
worse than
fun,
crack.
man.
Worse than crack. But
So right. Worst drug ever. Best drug ever.
Best drug ever. It's the only drug where you can spend money and then wake up the next morning. Oh my god, what happened? Oh, I made $2,000. Oh, okay.
Rug.
The best one, right?
Rock.
Rock.
Mutant Cats rug. No.
Oh,
Yeah.
alpha drop, dude. Alpha drop.
Alpha
Cats
drop.
rock.
Alpha drop.
They
But
got
yeah,
the
man,
identity and they're running.
bro, I'm keeping it at home. This is something interesting. Like I think right now we were moving from this movement of being anonymous and like not seeing. I think more and more projects are being completely doxxed from the beginning right now, and this has just been a change of trend from 1 month ago. Literally right now, the serious projects are completely doxed people. Like investors are being much more savvy, and we don't invest bullshit. We still invest like bullshit, but for long term projects, like not flipping, if you're not doxed, you're not gonna make it. unless you have like a big reputation in the space. It's really hard.
I think that's an important thing to touch on too. And you touched on it earlier, and I wanted to say something, but we just kind of rode past it, especially when it comes to the DAO, the long-term investing aspect of it. Like, you're not quick flipping a 0.06 mint with, half their mint from your DAO. This is real long-term investing, which is another odd kind of concept in the space, but.
Yep. I'm completely dogs. Like I have like, it's easy to find me. And I think more and more, mostly also multi-sigs, DAO people that have responsibilities in the future are gonna have to be dogs and even be completely dogs, like with even social security numbers to an oracle, like the lawyer of the DAO or someone that like has all this data to make people accountable. And I think that's gonna be the next step for the space to actually be serious and actually attract big investors to actually just ape into your project, because you're not gonna have them investing in some anoms that you don't know if they're gonna rob you someday.
Yeah, I think
More in a long-term project.
Yeah, we definitely feel the same way as you guys. We've got the same ideas behind it all. So just for the security of everyone that's involved in your project, just to know that you can't run away with their shit is a big deal.
Yep.
All right, and then this, again, Neo Tokyo News 5 has got a lot of good questions today, tying into your long-term investment plans. So when do you guys plan on selling anything in your DAO, assuming that you plan to take profits at some point?
No, the idea is that the things that we have in
Yeah,
the
it can't
vault,
work that way.
yeah, music man, tell them, like,
So the way the vault is structured to work is we can't really pull anything out of it and sell it, right? So when the vault gets sold, it gets bought out. So if someone triggers the reserve price on the fractional vault, it basically starts a 1-week auction. At that point, anyone can come in and bid on the vault. The reserve price we get to set, right? So it's never going to sell for anything lower than what we want it to sell. But once the reserve price is met, then it just goes to auction. And then whatever the auction is, based on the current structure of the fish token, the way the current auction works is once the auction's over, then whatever ETH is generated can be redeemed with the fish token that we have, right? So every fish token is essentially a fractional part of the vault. So that's what the cats spit out every day, 10 fish tokens. We're not really in a position where we can take one piece of art out of the vault and sell it to generate funds. So everything that goes in the vault is essentially a long-term hold for us. These are NFTs that we feel are going to increase in value exponentially over the years as NFT and crypto grows. Any short-term plays or anything that we need to be agile with, we leave outside in the community wallet. For example, like Sandbox right now, we're going to need to use that. We're going to need to access that NFT. So we're not going to put it into a vault. Everything in our vault is essentially our long-term holds.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably the best way to go. Just for those guys who aren't familiar, maybe can you just elaborate on how that works again? So you say you have your cats that generate fish, and those are then redeemable to whatever profits come at some point, or can you just elaborate there a little?
I can explain it. Basically, fractional art is a vault that once it goes to an auction and someone bids for the price, let's say it's worth, like right now it's like we have like 6 million in that vault. So let's say next year that vault is worth 30 million. So depending on the fish that we have, when that vault is sold in its entirety, depending on how much fish you have, the vault will send you straight away the ETH that corresponds to your fish. So you will have a piece of that vault being sold, and also it will just depend on the fish and on the fish that you have. So the more time it passes in Mutant Cats, the more the fish is going to be valuable as the vault increases in price, and the less supply there is of fish that wants to be moved, because there's going to be big whales like Pranksy, for example, has 100 Mutant Cats and he doesn't sell fish. He's just generating fish, and he doesn't give a fuck because he knows that in 2 years that's going to be huge, and he didn't even spend that much in the project right now because this is a long-term hold for him. and for any big whale that believes in the project. And so basically, that fish is going to be removed for the ETH that comes from that ocean of the world. And other than that, the things that we have in the multi-sig wallet or other wallets are like for different for payments to people that work for us. The Kong, we have it outside of the vault because we want to receive bananas, and we currently have a cyber Kong generating bananas every day. So, and our ID is also going to be outside of the vault because we need to interact with it. We don't know how new token is going to work, so that's going to be outside of the vault. And we can, for example, the land of Sandbox, we could sell it tomorrow. We bought it for 100 ETH. Right now, it's worth more than 200 ETH, that land. I mean, that was like 2 weeks ago. We could do that. We're not going to do it because we want to build in that 6+6. But yeah, the vault is out. It does it automatically. Like the moment it gets sold, all the people that have fish will receive ETH, depending on how much fish they have in comparison to all the supply of the fish.
Okay, that makes a little bit of clarity there. So just going on a little bit further into that. So anyone who holds fish then is entitled to a fraction of whatever the DAO profit is. So people that buy it on secondary, are they also entitled to profits or
Yep,
to give
you
the
can
value
buy
to the
fish.
fish?
Exactly.
Okay,
You
and
can,
then
you can,
and
yeah,
then
sorry.
how does it work with you when you sell something that's outside of the vault? Does that get split to holders of your NFT based on holders, or is that also tied to the fish token?
No, that's not going to be tied to the fish token. The outside thing is going to reward the holders of the Mutant Cat community, not to the fish holders.
Okay,
So, for example, if we
so it splits between
So
the 10,000 holders.
No. So if we were to sell something outside of the vault, let's say for example the project was in hot water, we had a stat sandbox land, we could theoretically sell that sandbox land, and then that ETH would be returned to the treasury, which the DAO controls, which the cats vote on.
Okay, all right, that makes sense.
As far as that the profit goes, if someone entered into the DAO after you already bought that, would they receive any gains off that, or?
Yeah,
I
so
don't understand.
it's directly attached to the fish, right? So if let's say a year from now, someone buys our vault for $1 billion, awesome, cool, and you just bought like 10,000 fish the day before that happened, you would still have that much fish value in whatever the vault buyout is. So the value of holding the cat is that it's passively giving you fish every day.
Okay.
So that allows you to kind of keep your fish purse growing, and then it will continue to spit out fish for 10 years. At which point, then our tokenomics roadmap is completed, and all the fish would be in circulation. We'd be fully diluted.
Okay, cool. So basically, the longer you have it, the more fish you can get until the end of the roadmap, and then you get your share.
Yep. Or you could just go buy fish. I mean, that's another option.
Mm-hmm. That's great. That gives it value. Interesting. Good stuff. All right. So I think that's it. Anyone else got any questions related to that? I think I've got mine answered for now.
You said they spit them out. Do they spit them out, or is it like a hairball kind of situation? Or
No, we're working on a lore for the cats. I don't know. We will see.
Okay. Then from CC Hematron, in your DAO, do holders of multiple cats get more votes? Is there a cap on how many votes one person can hold? Okay,
Right
I see.
now, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, about there's no limit. Like right now, one cat is one vote. Although we might change it to fish being the voting power of the DAO. There's like a tokenomics proposal right now that has been approved to pass to a snapshot. And basically what that will do in the future is that fish token will also become our governance token, But that's all in tokenomics. Right? We're gonna change a lot of things to make fish more valuable. And we want to tie fish to the current circulation and many things like our tokenomics team is amazing. And right now we're going through a lot of changes. So right now, today, one cat is one vote, and there's no limit to that. Like the more cats you have, the more power you have for the voting.
Okay, awesome. I think that also answers Bingus's question about the concepts that you have to add further utility to your ERC20. So thanks for that. Then Ellen Else is asking, from a marketing perspective, what has been your strategy, and do you have any big learnings to share navigating the marketing in the crypto space?
That's for music, man.
Wow, that's a loaded question. Well,
That's how we do it.
I mean, from our specific perspective, the biggest challenge has been, bridging the gap between the development team, their vision for the project, and then the DAO and community and their vision for how they want the marketing to go. Right. The 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 devs team kind of had their own roadmap already figured out, but then they kind of got the DAO working, and then we kind of had to figure out, okay, how do we fit into that roadmap, and how can we make sure that we're all pulling on the same rope? And it's actually quite a challenge, to get a lot of people on the same page. Specifically, the devs are just a group of 3-4 people. The community is a group of 5,000. So getting everyone to agree on kind of two parallel roadmaps is quite a challenge, to say the least. I would say the biggest challenge we have on marketing is just sustaining momentum. It's a lot of effort to try to keep the hype train always pumping at full speed. And we've burned out more than one mod. The fact that Yakuza's still going as hard as he is, he's got the patience of a saint. No joke. We've had some mods just say, "Hey, this is too much. Like my mental health can't handle it." Because it's demanding. This a project of this caliber is demanding. We have a lot of people who are heavily invested. We have a very strong community of holders, and we have a large holder base. I think we have close to 4,000 or 5,000 unique holders. So making everyone happy is difficult. But the marketing team is currently focusing heavily on figuring that out. It's going to be a tough nut to crack, but hopefully with a little bit more communication and buy-in from the development team, we can get there a little quicker. But that's part of the whole struggle of decentralization that we're going through right now.
Yeah, it's a challenge, and we can all attest to the challenges that people face, even in smaller communities. It's not easy to stay on top of it all the time.
Mods don't get burnt out. What are you talking about, man?
Never,
Mate,
bro.
don't say that. Don't say that. Don't
Oh,
even
man.
dare you to joke, mate. Fucking hell. Sorry.
This guy is going through hell, man. He has his community manager going down every week. No cap.
Yeah.
Really, no cap.
But basically, just to say something funny. Yesterday I woke up like 7 a.m. I was about to have a breakfast, and then I turned on the computer, just joined Discord. I don't want to exaggerate, mate, but maybe 100 DMs, and all my screen was red, all full of notifications. Everyone trying to contact for collaboration, for this, for that, for a fucking mess, mate. So yeah, we are trying our best. That's why I'm not coming alone. I always bring I always bring Ed. I try to bring people with me because, to be honest, it's impossible just for 10 person handle everything. You need a team, and so far they are doing a really good job in everything.
You gotta have a team, man.
I can explain a
Yeah.
bit more about our problems and how the strategy of marketing is. At least for what my conclusion has been is that action is more important than perfection. There's no best practices and everything is a big experiment. Okay, it's not a good strategy to hoping to get one thing right. Yeah, instead, what you want to do is optimize for meaningful activities. The more a project can deliver, the faster a project will learn and the closer a project will be able to build the right things. Okay. So, for example, instead of making this big announcement to increase trust and excitement for the community, what you want to do is more important is to be consistent with how you communicate. Instead of adding this perfect feature in your contract, it's more important to constantly be adding features that might work. You come up with an idea, you put it. You just don't don't stop yourself in the communication area, because like more communication lead to better decisions, but more communication also leads to less actions. And in our space, I think more actions is always going to be better than less, because everything is a big experiment. So you want to be able to deliver more actions than conversation. You want to have this balance, and it's really hard to have it. And more in a DAO with so many voices and so many people, and without like a clear head or leader, like you don't have this CEO figure that can just direct everything. Like for example, with my own company, when you go from 1 to 5 employees, man, that 1 to 10 employees, you just lead them and you just go through a spear. You can lead the team really fast into the next step. But when you go from 10 to 30 people, you start to slow down. That happens with any business. And that's what happened with DAOs, in my opinion. We're too many people, so we're like moving like the Titanic, and the Titanic is so big that it fucking crashed into the iceberg. No, so what you want is to put a fucking engine that can put that Titanic to the same speed as a small ship with big power. So that's the balance that you want. You want to have a big ship, but that with enough power and maneuverability that can go through all the hoops and problems of the organization.
Yeah, the problems of scaling are real.
Yeah. Another thing is like for at least advice is that your investors or your community is going to be always right, because they're going to be always comparing yourself to other projects that are going faster than you. They're better. So you're gonna have to listen to them and be able to filter those decisions and those things that are bad and those things that are good. And that's not easy, but you have to do it, and you have to be in this constant communication, but also not stopping taking actions. You cannot stop moving when you're communicated. You have to move and communicate at the same time, because the moment you stop taking actions is when you lose this momentum and this constant application of changes that makes you progress as a project.
Just like the rest of the space, man, nothing stops moving.
Yeah, and like for example,
hate is our engine, man. Hate is our engine. We just strap him to the back of the boat and tell him to kick really hard, and we're getting there.
But yeah, basically it's that. Like you have to also hold people accountable for output. That's not something that we're doing right now, but I hope when we have all this transition going on, we can apply like real life knowledge from us. Like there's a lot of people that we have our own businesses and things in the real world, and we know how to apply that, and we can just use things like at least my growth strategy that I love the most is traction and scaling up. It's my frameworks, and we can apply that to the DAO and be able to have these frameworks with a good foundation and vision and mission and values that we already have implemented into the DAO, and push that forward and actually be a good vehicle to give value to our holders. Maybe I'm just going too far away in my own world, But yeah.
Hey, man, no, it's all about thinking about the future. And even like we said before, where it's, a month in this space is a year. I mean, that's what we're all here really fighting for, right? Is making a better future.
Yeah. Yep. That's basically it, man. If you're in Web3, you have to work on it, man. Like this is the place where everything is happening right now.
Yep. All right, then just to take it back a step to one of the other questions, this one from Janie. If he was to buy a mutant cat right now on OpenSea, how does he get it up to receive fish? Is there any kind of staking, or does it just produce fish by itself just by holding to your wallet?
You have to stake it. There's a web page. You can click 2 buttons, stake it, and the fish is gonna arrive to like a place, like an internal wallet. You don't have to claim it right away. It just accumulates, and when you want, you can take it out. Basically, 10 fish a day.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that. All right, then Yakuza's been answering this one a little bit in the text chat in the AMA questions, but I just posted to Hate. How will the representatives' presence in NFT benefit mutant cats if they can't share what they learn there, or rather, what benefit will mutant cats have by sending a representative?
About Neo Tokyo, right? Okay.
Yes.
The thing is, like, I already had a talk with them. It's important to realize that the alpha information cannot be spread to just 5,000 people in the community as an individual, because like I don't think anyone will be happy. Me myself, if I bought an NFT for 400K and 5,000 people can have the same information as myself, I would be a bit pissed. So that's not going to be a benefit that we're going to give to the community. That's not going to be able to happen. It's not. But we can create this networking things to benefit the DAO. We can network with big players in the space. We are able to APIN and just will in with the Citadel. Like for example, if the Citadel wants to do like a really proof play and it's really good, we can just put 200 ETH and go with them with the money from the DAO, like as an entity. But as individuals, that will be pushing the strings of Neo Tokyo too far away. And I don't want to do that. I think we have to be an ideal citizen in Neo Tokyo. And we are like even willing to sign a contract and be totally transparent with that. And
Okay,
the
so
idea is that, tell me.
yeah, okay. So basically, you can still use the position with the DAO, but you can't share that information with members individually, because that I think is one of the questions that's been asked with our community as well. They thought along the lines of doing something similar. So if a DAO holds it, you can still invest as a DAO, but not as individuals.
I think so, like that. And also, like Neo Tokyo, let's be honest, the game is going to be amazing, and I expect big gains from holding that identity, both in bytes and the games itself that the community participates. I think it's going to give value long term, not only by holding, but participating in all the events of the Citadel. Having that representative there is going to give us a lot of edge that other projects are not going to have in the future.
Okay, cool. All right, then another question from Janie. Just firstly, thank you for answering his previous one about the staking. How are mutant gorillas connected to the DAO and the cats and the fish token?
Gorillas produce Serum. Serum is another token. That token you can use it for curing your cats, because we have a new collection that is going to come by the end of this month. And it's called Cured Cats, and basically the mutant cats are going to be cured, and they're going to be able to breed, have VX cats or land in sandbox. So the principal idea of gorillas is that they produce this serum and they need 60 days, or you can feed them fish to accelerate that process. So they have also a burning mechanism. Right now they are already burning more than 500,000 fish. So with that fish, the gorillas have a burning fish mechanism, and they also produce serum. And that serum is something that we are also going to use in the future for more applications. Like maybe another collection will have something to do with serum. Serum can be used for a new implementation that we will be able to put in the future. But right now, serum is going to specifically be able to cure the mutant cats, and also let these cured cats breed and have the VX cats.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool. It's like a nice complicated system.
So to kind of sum it up real simply, right? The cats are the primary collection NFT piece. They're the only piece that gives any kind of voting rights to the DAO. The gorillas are an expansion piece designed to add utility. So gorillas eat fish. That helps us turn fish deflationary and increase the value of fish. When gorillas eat fish, they produce serums faster. Serums cure mutant cats and turn them into cured cats. Cured cats can breed with each other to create VX cats for Sandbox.
And do cured cats also still produce fish, or is that a function that changes then?
Nope, cured cats will still produce fish. So cured cats will basically function as kind of a mirror collection to the mutant cats, just with different artwork.
Okay.
Here's my question.
Cool.
Do the mutant gorillas also use a litter box, or is it like if a mutant gorilla, in the woods, does it make it, or do they use a litter box too?
That's a great question. I don't know where serum comes from, but I mean, it could come out from one of those ends. So.
Oh wow,
that's a brilliant answer, dude. Brilliant.
That's great.
All right, and then some of our guys are diving a little bit deeper. The next question is from Milo. When fish first launched, it was $30. Now it's at about 36 cents. What are your plans and ideas? What plans or ideas are there to stabilize the price besides feeding them to gorillas?
That's a great question. So one thing to keep in mind, and something you should always keep in mind when you're seeing any kind of NFT project launch a token, right? Is especially in a project like ours, where we're not fully diluting the market on day one, we're basically dripping out tokens. It's going to launch with a very low market cap, and there's just not a lot of tokens out there, right? So I mean, it launched at $30 and it dropped down to like 10, and it went up to 15, and like every trade would swing at $5 one way or the other. That was just the nature of the beast. And if you were trading fish tokens at that time, you're probably just doing yourself a huge disservice, because it just needed time to build up some liquidity, get our LP tokens going, and all that stuff. So it kind of stabilized itself. I mean, technically right now, according to our tokenomics team, based on the number of fish currently in circulation and the value of our vault, like the assets in our vault, every fish is worth approximately $2.60, give or take a few cents, based on the current market cap, not fully diluted. So when you kind of look at it that way, fish is actually a little bit undervalued right now, but because of the way we've explained it in our governance documents, it's not really being interpreted that way. Hence, it's kind of bringing the value down. So we're actually working on a proposal right now to kind of correct the language so people really understand what the value of one fish is. But right now, if you want to back it one-to-one with what's in the vault, it's worth about $2.50, give or take.
Okay, so fish is on a major special, guys. Go buy.
Exactly, fire sale, Cyber Week.
Love it.
That said, our tokenomics team is aggressively looking into other ways to like burn fish. So we actually have a fish hackathon coming up. So if any developers are out there in the audience, please go check out our Discord and ask questions about the hackathon. We're going to start posting a lot of content about it here soon, and I believe we have an AMA on it coming up on Friday. But basically, we're going to be doing, I think, somewhere between 25 or maybe a little bit more in ETH prizes for the hackathon. And it's going to be solely to create different utilities and functions for burning fish or for utilizing fish in a way to increase its deflationary nature. This is a big thing for us, because we understand like the more valuable we can make fish, the more attractive owning a cat becomes. And think cyberpunks, right? You only pay $500,000 for a gorilla JPEG because it spits out thousands of dollars a day, right? Yep. So that's kind of the blueprint we're trying to get to, but we don't necessarily want to get there the same way they did. So trying to find other creative ways to add more and more utility to fish, and really there's nothing capping how much utility you can add to a token, right? If we can come up with 20 awesome ways to use fish, well, that's just 20 ways to make it more deflationary. So we're heavily investing our time and energy into that right now.
Cool. That sounds amazing. All right. So 2 questions. One, because I'm too lazy to hop into your Discord and ask right now, what time is your AMA on Friday? Just so we can try and be there as well.
So far, it will be Twitter Space, and we will be doing 6 p.m. EST on Friday.
Okay, cool. Sweet. And then, one other thing. So you say your roadmap, you're producing fish for however many years still to come. So I'm assuming fish has got a hard cap, so max supply, and then you're going to deflate it as you go wherever you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. Yes, there is a hard limit on how many fish are in circulation. With currently the DAO always holding 51% of that for controlling the vault.
All right, cool. That's good to know. Okay, then that one's been done. A lot of the guys asking, can we find all of this information on your website with regards to tokenomics, etc.?
You even have a full Notion with all public information of everything that we're doing. I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah, there's some FAQs in our Discord too. If you guys want to go in there, it's not all white papered out on the website yet, but that's definitely a goal that we have to get done.
All right, cool. Yeah, and then Milo's asking again, are there any plans to somehow preserve the original Mutant Cat artwork after they are burned or converted into cured cats?
You burn the cat, bye-bye. You have the new. So that's also a way to have a deflationary collection. We believe that when more cured cats and more cats get cured, the mutant cat original collection is going to be more valuable as it will become more scarce. As more people cure the cats, the original mutant cats in the future will be much more scarce.
Yeah, I think the question is there is like if people really love how their mutant cats work, is there a way for them to preserve that artwork other than to right-click save?
Oh, come on. I was going to say right-click save.
So that's
man.
part of the game theory, right? You have to make a choice. So that's kind of by design that way. What I anticipate is going to probably end up happening is that people who have rare mutant cats will probably want to keep those, and if they need more cats to cure, then they'll have to go into the secondary market and pick up some floors to do so. Which ideally will make the cats even more valuable because, as you guys know, our floor is pretty small. We don't have a lot of cats on the market right now. We don't anticipate that changing just because we have such a high staking rate because of the fact that everyone wants fish.
Yeah, and just to add one thing, when you cure a cat, basically all the traits are randomized, or that's the idea. So yeah, I'm totally sure whoever owns a red mutant cat, he's not gonna he's not gonna he's not gonna cure him. You know,
But at the same time, if you pick up a floor cat and cure him, you might end up with a rare cured cat.
totally.
So
Exactly.
it gives those people who've been holding on to their floors for a long time an opportunity to essentially get a reroll.
Yep, exactly. In the
Yeah.
future, we can also introduce more interactions with the rarity of cured cats. So you will want to get a rare cured cat in the future, for example.
Okay. Sorry, Milo, you've got some hard choices ahead.
Mhm.
Okay, and then just Janie's asking again. So, assuming that once you've done that, you've cured your cat, would you have to restake it? So, do you have to unstake to cure it and then restake it, or is that all going to be how do you guys foresee that happening?
I believe it's most likely going to require the gas transaction to unstake, to cure it, to breed, and then to restake. I'm assuming so, based on just what I'm seeing in other projects. Our developers have not yet shared the nitty gritty details of that with us. So we're kind of in the same boat as you guys. We're waiting to hear.
What it will be awesome actually is that the cured cat will just deploy your fish to your wallet straight away, like bananas work. You know.
Yeah.
I will love that, and I think that will actually like we're also exploring L2 solutions. Um, And having an O2 solution in mutant cats will help us with the gas. So people will stop having the issue of gas for staking and all the interactions that we have in our ecosystem. But for now, I think devs have this idea of staking. But in my mind, I think we should really change to a contract like Cyberconks or other projects that just give the NFT to straight to your wallet. And the idea is that once cured cats appear, that's just going to be a more mature community that will actually want to stay in the community. You being like this long. So right now we're mature. You're going to be able to have like the most core people of the DAO that will really value the mutant cat and they're like really invested. So at that time, I don't think staking is going to be something that much beneficial to the project.
Yeah,
Okay.
the concept behind staking originally was to remove cats from the market, right? If like right now, 90% of our cats are staked, so only 10% are even available for sale, if they even chose to list them. So that was the concept behind it. But also when the project launched, a $50 gas fee was kind of high, and you're paying more $30-$40 on a transaction. Now that's almost unheard of, right? I haven't seen a gas fee that low in over a month. So it really makes us have to rethink the future of the project and possibly toy with the idea of updating the contract to improve it to accommodate the new realities that we're facing.
Don't worry, Daddy Vitalik's going to come through with that L2 solution someday.
There we go.
Might have to hire some devs, man. Fuck it.
Can devs do something?
Yeah, devs is something. I was overinvested by a lot.
Shinta, that's the cue for your meme again. Post it in chat.
Oh yeah.
All right. And then this is not really a question. I think from the voice of Neotoki, he just says, "I like what the Doge Pound has planned for their token. You'll need a number of the tokens to use the Launchpad, so you won't have to own a Doge Pound in order to use their Launchpad. But people can sell their tokens on something like Uniswap to buy in. You can only get said tokens by holding a Doge Pound as well. This is nice because it isn't technically passive income, but it allows for people to want to sell their tokens."
Definitely. So yeah, just to make it clear, like for the Neo Tokyo thing, at least I talked with an admin, and I think we're not gonna go through any guidelines that the Citadel is going to impose on us. I think it's really important to make clear that we obviously want to be like an ideal citizen. We don't want to leak any information that doesn't want to be leaked, and we just want to have fun, enjoy the space, and kick some digital ass, you know.
But all right, looks like we've come more or less to the end of the questions, guys. If you have any more, you can post them up quickly to wrap it up. So closing questions, and then any of the guys on the stage, Henry, Shinta, any of you guys want anything else you'd like to know?
No, well, my only question is, now that I'm scouting these on OpenSea and checking the floor, what traits do I want? What's rare?
Cat is best card, man. Unless you want a crown or something like a party cat that is like tattooed symbol. But man, floor cat is best cat.
Floor cat is best cat.
Okay, well, I'm just going to comment on that and say, CC, we need to step up our flipping actions. I need a little bit more ETH so I can get one too.
I mean, it's always cool when you get one in the floor that you like, you know. Like I'm the type of person that pays a bit more if I like the NFT.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If I plan to long hold it, if I just want to flip it, fuck it, I just sweep the floor.
Dude, it's all about the PFP. Who cares about everything else?
Yeah.
I think the game of the PFP is over, man. Now it's utility. Now it's proper business. We're evolving into a more mature space by the day. Like every day we're maturing by leaps, man. It's just incredible.
Yeah, no, fully agree.
Was Jamie's last question asked? Do the Cure Cats become stakeable owner in Fish?
Yeah, they were saying that they haven't quite decided. They might turn that into being a more mature audience and not needing to stake it similar to CyberKongs, but that's up to the devs, and that hasn't been decided just yet.
Got it. Okay. I thought I heard the answer to that. I just wanted to double check. I don't like leaving anybody's questions unanswered.
Oh, we appreciate you, bro.
Oh. Well, that's all we have for questions. You guys got anything else you want to go over? Any of the rest of the team? Henry? Seb left.
I don't think so. We've covered pretty much everything I had questions about.
Zell?
No, I think I'm good. I think I've picked a couple of brains with what I'd like to know. If anything else pops into my mind, I'll reach out to you guys. I'll reach out to Ed or Hate or Yakuza and see what else, if anything, pops up in the next couple of hours or days. But yeah, first off, just thank you guys so much for taking the time and explaining all the stuff to us. We really appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule to fit us in.
No,
Actually,
man,
I do have one quick question. So
This guy.
you're based on ERC20. Have you or do you plan on buying any coins or NFTs on other networks?
I think we're gonna stay in Ethereum for now. Honestly. Yeah. like maybe we can fork and we can get into let's say maybe we can do some shenanigans to enter like some DeFi structures. But other than like coins outside of Ethereum, I don't see, like, for example, if I don't know if you know Concave, if for some reason we get into Concave day one, we might get in. You know what I mean? Like we're degens, we can do it.
Yep.
But Other than that, nah. Ethereum is fine. I'm an Ethereum maxi, I think. I think the solution of Ethereum are going to come next year. We have TK rollups going to save the day. We have Ethereum 2.0 coming, and I'm really bullish on Ethereum for the long term. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, ETH is still the OG of NFTs, and there's a lot of interesting stuff happening on the other chains, and that's both a good and a bad thing in many senses. So
It's all about adoption, and having so many people already adopted in the space, having a new player coming in for long-lasting. In my opinion, at least, I think once TK rollups take the stage, like let's say the Google of coins, the main players that have like this vision that they're here to solve the issues of Ethereum, they're gonna go down because like they don't have any other reason to exist other than be a better Ethereum. And since Ethereum already has the mass adoption, there's no reason for those coins to be adopted other than a speculation. And once they lose this utility because the technology has made Ethereum not having these gas fees and problems, and they're done. So yeah, that's at least what I think.
If you guys haven't already, go on Google and read some articles on Metcalfe's law. It'll explain a lot.
Ooh.
Mhm.
And you
I'll,
show me that,
I'll drop
please?
it in the chat for those of you
Yeah,
who are
thank you.
interested.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think a couple of us already have read over Metcalfe's law, but it's always a good thing for everyone else to have a look at. That
I'm not gonna lie. I just looked it up. First time I've heard about it. I'm not a smart feller. I'm a fart smeller. But this looks like extremely confusing. But I'm gonna read up on it just because you said so. To be honest, so we'll see if my brain doesn't explode.
You know, watch a YouTube video. It's just as good.
There we go. See, now you're talking my language.
Yeah. Bro, I remember to understand Neo Tokyo, the first thing I needed was a video on YouTube. So come on, it is what it is.
that's where we learn everything these days, guys.
Mm. University of YouTube.
Yep.
Fuck college.
Well, unless you guys have any parting statements, I think that'll wrap us up for tonight. Thank you guys very much for coming out again. Henry, you want to sneak in another last minute question?
I think we're all set.
All right, cool. Well, thank you guys again for coming out. We sincerely appreciate it, and we should set up another one. Check how you guys are doing down the line, and see how the whole process with the fish is going, the curing, and just check in with you guys. Do another one sometime soon.
Awesome, man. Well,
Yep.
honestly, yeah, just hit me up. Like we will be in contact, and it's been a pleasure. Amazing, guys. Love it.
Yeah. Thanks again, and to all of our members, other than those who already have them. It sounds really cool. I think the project has got some really cool stuff coming up. So check it out. Get involved on the Discord, and if you can, grab yourself a kitty. Go get yourself a kitty.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, guys.
We're gonna close up the stage. Everybody, thank you for coming, and have a great night.
Yep. Thanks again,
Thank you,
everyone.
guys. Good night.
Thank you,
Enjoy.
guys. Good night.
Cheers.